What we send out does not disappear. It circles, it echoes, it finds its way home like a voice in a well, like ripples on water. This is a small story about why karma always comes back. In a river town where the bridge sang with carts and footsteps, there lived a trader named Aaron. Quick with numbers, quicker with smiles, he sold grain by the cup and thread by the arm. People called him clever, and Aaron liked the sound of the word when it held in the mouth. Cleverness can be a lantern. It can also be a shadow. Aaron had a habit small enough to hide behind his grin. When he weighed rice, his thumb learned to rest lightly on the scale. When he measured fabric, the cloth stretched a little if you watched from far enough away. If a neighbor's stall sold well, he shared a joke that was almost a rumor and almost a kindness. Almost is a thin blanket in the cold. Across from Aaron stood Lila, the baker, with flour-dusted sleeves and bread that smelled like mornings before life got complicated. Next to her sat old Hannah, a herbalist whose hands had learned both grief and gentleness. They greeted Aaron each dawn. He greeted them back. He meant no harm. He told himself just a nudge here, a pinch there, the kind of cleverness that everybody uses to survive. One evening, as the light folded into a blue hush, Aaron passed the town well. A child dropped a pebble and waited with wide eyes for the echo. Aaron paused to listen. The sound returned a breath, later his own footsteps, the child's laughter bending into stone, the world sending back what it had been given. He looked up at the early stars, then down at his palms. They were steady, quiet, familiar. He pushed away the thought, the way one brushes crumbs from a table. The week turned stormy. Rain pinned the town to a dark rhythm. Roofs learned new leaks. The bridge groaned as the river shouldered past its banks. On the third day, Aaron hurried to fill a promise, a bag of rice for a young family who had saved to buy in bulk. He set the scale, let his thumb rest, tied the bag with a practiced knot, and smiled. The mother smiled back thin, grateful, trusting. On the fourth day, he sold cloth to a rope maker, Thomas, who needed it for his wife's warming shawl. Aaron measured an arm and a hand, and in the press of customers, his arm shortened and his hand grew small. And because storms bend tempers, he made one more choice. He told a neighbor that Lila's bread had been strangely light lately. Lots of air. Then laughed as if it were only a joke. The neighbor repeated it without the laugh. We never know which pebble will echo the loudest. That night, wind climbed the rooftops like a cat chasing a shadow. A sheet of Aaron's roof peeled back with a moan. Rain poured into his storage room, soaking sacks of grain and swelling the wooden floorboards until they warped. He scrambled with buckets, cursing the storm, then the carpenter, then the price of nails, then the luck that had chosen his house out of 100. He ran to Thomas the rope maker for help. Thomas looked at Aaron's breathless face, then at the rain. Lend me a length of rope, Aaron said, just till morning. I'll pay double. Thomas glanced at the coils and then at Aaron's measuring hand. An arm and a hand, he said softly. Like you sold me last night, Aaron blinked. The rope maker's eyes were not unkind, only tired. "I'll help you," Thomas said at last, "but honesty is not a thing we borrow after the storm. It's the roof we build before it." The words cut deeper than the wind. Together they lashed the flapping roof. Water still found passages. The worst was not yet over. The next morning, Aaron went to sell to cover the damage. The market felt different. 2 customers returned with faces folded tight. "This bag was light," the mother said, setting it down. "We weighed it twice. And the cloth," Thomas's wife added, holding the shawl, "not wide enough to wrap around a small woman in winter. You measured an arm. Whose?" Lila stood nearby, silent, her breads unsold, the rumor nibbling at the edges of her stall like mice. Aaron swallowed. Words pinballed in his chest and fell uselessly at his tongue. He had many explanations. None of them felt clean. Hannah, the herbalist, watched from her stool, eyes soft with a sadness that had seen this before. She reached into a jar and handed Aaron a sprig of bitter leaf. "Chew this," she said. "It's good for swelling. Also good for conscience." He almost protested. He almost joked. He almost did a dozen small, clever things. Instead, he placed the bitter leaf on his tongue and let it teach his mouth humility. Karma is not a policeman. It is a mirror and a teacher. It returns to us not to punish, but to complete the lesson. Aaron stood on his wooden stall and did what he had not done in a long time. He told the plain truth. "I skimmed," he said, voice steady but low. "I've been placing my thumb on the scale. I measured short. I let a joke walk where it would hurt. I'll set it right." Silence spread, then parted. The mother nodded once. Thomas's wife exhaled. Lila's eyes softened, then lifted to meet his. Aaron untied his purse and returned coins he could not spare. He weighed rice with his hands flat and open, calling the numbers louder than required, so the truth itself became part of the sale. He measured fabric against a marked pole, not his memory. He walked to Lila's stall and bought bread at full price, slicing it in front of the crowd so the air could see its weight and wonder. "Your bread is good," he said, loud enough for the rumor to hear. "I've been light, not you." The market adjusted its shoulders. People changed their lines the way birds change the angle of flight when the wind shifts. The day moved. By evening, the river fell back into itself. Aaron's roof held ugly with rope, but loyal. He was lighter by coins, heavier by something he could trust. When he walked past the well, children were throwing pebbles again, laughing when their echoes returned. He dropped one too. The sound came back, a little delayed, a little changed by the shape of the stone and the throat of the well, but undeniably his. At dawn the next day, he found a loaf at his door, Lila's handwriting, a ribbon of blue string. For the repair, the note read, "Not charity, continuation." On his stall, someone had left a small wooden sign carved with a simple sentence, "No thumb on the scale." Thomas passed by and lifted 2 fingers in a quiet salute. Aaron looked at his hands. They were the same hands. They had learned a different way to weigh. He began to do small, opposite things. Praise instead of hints. Measures a little generous instead of a little short. Apologies before explanations. He fixed his roof properly when the sun returned, not because he feared another storm, but because he had learned what Thomas meant. You build the right thing before you need it. Weeks later, an old traveler collapsed near the bridge. Aaron carried him to Hannah's stool. Layla brewed tea. Thomas fetched blankets. No one kept score. The town simply did what a town does when it remembers it is one body. The traveler recovered, then opened his cart, a trove of cloth at a price that made Aaron blink. For those who lifted me, he said, I lift my prices down. Ripples travel far. They also return with gifts we could not have planned. Karma is not magic. It's a patient echo. Every action is a stone in a well, every word a ripple on the river that carries us. We don't control the timing. We do control the stone. Give what you want returned. Honesty, kindness, room for others to breathe. When you send these out, they circle the world and come back in the shape of a roof that holds, a rumor corrected, a hand that meets yours at the right moment. That is why karma always comes back.